Hello, this video describes the special measures that we'll be taking in planning and running face-to-face workshops in August 2020. We need to put these new measures into place to reduce the risk of COVID-19 infection spreading through contact between participants and workers in the project. So face-to-face contact bears an increased risk compared to staying at home, and so we will only be running these face-to-face workshops if we consider that the risk is at an acceptable level. These instructions are for everybody who will come to the face-to-face sessions: staff, volunteer, young person, whoever, anybody who's there will have to follow these instructions. First of all, how we will decide if it's safe to do the workshops. Running up to the workshops, we will be monitoring the number of new cases being reported in the high peak, and we've said if that goes up to a threshold of 100 in the previous week, or if a local lockdown is introduced, whichever one might happen, CAP sessions will be cancelled at that point. At the moment, we're getting single figures, 5 to numbers of cases in each week, so we're at a very low level at the moment. All workers who are on the programme have committed to avoiding any high-risk activity during August, such as going to large gatherings without social distancing. If anyone feels that they can't come to these sessions, either because they're worried they've got symptoms or because they're shielding from any kind of contact with other people, we are really committed to keeping people involved in the programme, so that's why we're carrying on with the online sessions as well. We'll make sure that if you can't come to the face-to-face, you are still fully involved in what's happening. So during sessions, we've booked a workshop space at Glossop Cricket Club that has outdoor areas as well. So we will use outdoors as much as possible because we know that limits the risk of passing on infection. And we will clean the workshop space and other areas such as toilets with soapy water while we're setting up the session. Cleaning materials will be left around the building and hand sanitizer, and that means that anyone going into the toilets can wipe all the handles as they go in and out of the toilets, and use hand sanitizer. And because the numbers of people at the workshops will be very low, we'll be able to make sure that there's only ever one person going down to the toilets at any one time, and that will be as safe as we can. During the workshops themselves, we will set up all the equipment to sort of show what a 2 metre distance is, and we'll be making sure we stay at a 2 metre distance. We don't see any reason why that would be impossible to do. I know some government guidance says 1 metre plus. I think that that's only for exceptional circumstances where 2 metres is not possible. So I don't see why 2 metres isn't possible for us. We will be limiting the group size to 6 young people and up to 3 workers. And we will not be sharing equipment. So we would encourage everyone to bring whatever equipment they can with them. If you've got a musical instrument, bring it. Bring pens and pencils with you, and if you've got a notebook or paper, if you could bring that, that'd be good as well. Bring it in a bag so that you keep all your stuff together. You'll need to bring a packed lunch. You'll need to bring a drink with you as well, because we won't provide drinks as a matter of course. We'll only provide a glass of water if someone really needs one. If you are going to use some of our equipment, it will be allocated to you as a young person with your name on it, and you'll be the only person using that piece of equipment. For example, microphones will all be labelled with the name of the person who's using them, and we won't be sharing microphones at all. When arriving at the venue, we need to make sure that there's limited contact between people as they arrive, particularly if parents are dropping people off. We need to limit contact with other families, maintaining social distance. Where we're providing transport from Buxton, the young people all need to wear a face mask on that transport, as the driver of the taxi will also be. We will be booking a minibus so that people will be able to spread out around the vehicle and not be right next to each other. When you arrive at the workshop, you will need to take your face mask off and put it in a bag, and then wash or hand sanitize your hands straight away. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds when you first arrive at the venue. We will be encouraging everyone to wash their hands really regularly, at a very minimum when you first arrive and before you leave, before and after eating. If you cough or sneeze, and use your hands. If you know you've touched your face, we'd encourage everyone to either wash their hands or use hand sanitizer. If you accidentally share equipment with somebody else, you need to wash your hands. We'll be keeping all the doors open in the building, so the only doors that you'll need to touch will be going in and out of the toilets. Everything else will be left open, and there'll be hand sanitizer and cleaning equipment outside the toilets to wipe down those handles as you go in and out. During lunchtime, we need to be careful that we don't break social distancing at that time. Don't share equipment, don't show other people your mobile phones, and just be really aware of how that period of time could be a risky time for relaxing rules and coming into contact with each other. There's been some people are doing a lot of research about singing activities. There's a theory that that's a particularly risky activity. We are going to treat it as if it is a particularly risky activity, and we will be positioning singers singing away from the rest of the group. There are some bifold doors that open up to the outside of the room that we'll be using, so singers will be pointing out of the building or standing on the terrace if it's not raining, so that the direction of singing goes out of the room. If we do any movement or dance activity as well, that could be another higher risk activity, because you might be touching walls and floors and other things that you wouldn't normally come into contact with. So we'll be assessing that on an ongoing basis, trying to identify any risks and point them out to each other so that we're all aware of where we're sort of getting closer to being in risky situations. So everybody needs to look out for any COVID-19 symptoms. The sorts of symptoms we're looking out for is a new continuous cough, high temperature, loss of smell or taste, unexplained rashes have also been put on the list as well of symptoms. If you think that you're showing any of these symptoms, and importantly, if anyone in your household is showing any of those symptoms, you must not attend these face-to-face sessions. You need to contact the NHS, nhs.uk, call 119 and arrange to have a test taken. If you have recently been to a workshop, say in the last 14 days, and developed symptoms, you must notify me. You must let me know that you have started to show symptoms, so that I can tell everyone else who was at that same workshop and let the track and trace system know. If while you're attending the workshop you start to feel any of those symptoms, or if anyone else in the workshop is feeling those symptoms, they will be separated out from the rest of the group, put in a separate room. We'll phone parents and ask for that person to be collected. The workshop will also end. All parents and carers will be contacted to arrange to collect their young people, and we will thoroughly clean the building and shut down the rest of the session. All workers and participants will need to self-isolate then for 14 days, or until a negative test is received by the person who was having symptoms. We will make sure that that person has had a test done, and if they get a positive test, we will pass on everybody's details to track and to trace, so that can be followed up properly. If the original symptoms stop very soon after the workshop and a negative test is received, then we will then carry on with further face-to-face sessions, but we won't unless that negative test is received. But if a positive test is received, we won't run any more of the face-to-face sessions at all, and we'll carry on with the rest of the project online. And so if we follow all of these guidelines, and as I said at the beginning, the number of cases of COVID-19 in the High Peak at the moment is low, so we have assessed that to be a reasonable level of risk, and if that changes, we will change our plans accordingly. So thanks very much for helping us stay safe, stay healthy, and carry on with activities, and have a good summer. Okay, see you soon. Bye.